Ta-da! Greetings, everyone. How are you doing? What's happening? What's going on? Happy Saturday to you. Hope you are enjoying the weekend. Depends on where you are. You got rain. It could be cold or chilly, like it is in the shy. But I got out today anyway, and I didn't like it when I removed. I took one of the hook off my ears of the mask while walking. I didn't like inhaling that cold air. It was too cold and dry. So after a little while, I figured it out. You need to put this back on. This kind of helps. This downtown cold, chilly air. But yeah, I'm over here multitasking. That's what I do. I talk to myself. I had elder DJ Music would laugh at me. He said, it's all right if you talk to yourself. It's just if you answer. I said, well, you know what? I answer myself. So he said, okay, well, I'm gonna have to get you some help, and as soon as I get the money, we're gonna get you a nice psychiatrist. I think he's gonna give me a psychiatrist. I'm not sure if he said psychologist, but I guess just in case the medication he thinks may be needed, he probably will give me a psychiatrist. But that's okay. It's all right. Everyone talks to themselves. They probably just don't do it out loud. But when you're thinking, you're talking to yourself. You're problem solving. Like you think to yourself, wait a minute, did I have my keys? And then you reach for your pocket or whatever it is, or you look around. And depends, sometimes you may say out loud, there they are, or, oh, I'm glad I looked. So you talk to yourself. All right. So it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. All right. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying your Saturday. Um, Sometimes people at this time of the year for Easter, they get together with the family. They go to church that one or two times a year. This is usually one of them. But whatever you choose to do, make sure you stay safe. That is what is important. All right. And I had to make sure I stayed safe today because it seemed like when I was getting off the bus, the guy behind me was trying to pickpocket me. And, but, I give him the people's elbow. I have no problem doing that. So I took care of that. I took care of that. All right, everyone. Without further ado, you all know what to do. Get your hands together. You can stand up if you like. She can't see you, but she definitely would feel the applause. So, again, get your hands together for the lovely, for the wonderful, for the classic.
Stay down there, girl. Stay down there.
Classic Ruby, everybody. Classic Ruby is in the house, in the place to be. On the ones
There
and
we
twos
go.
and the threes.
Girl, I'm telling you, this mouse thing is the pits. I don't know. I knew last week that the mouse don't work right. I did. But
Mm.
somehow between last week and this week I didn't solve the problem. So it's fine. It still doesn't work right. I'm just in there smashing away. I'm like, eventually it'll work, right? Eventually, right? Eventually I'll get through.
Okay.
you know, first of all, listen, since we're talking about, I heard you mention, psychology and psychologists and whatever, since that's been a popular topic of discussion,
Yes.
I have a little bit of psychologized news. I do. Okay.
Oh,
Right. And I want everyone to stand up on their feet for this one. I'm very proud. It's some personal family news. All right, y'all.
all
So,
right.
Mama Rubes, that's right, Mama Rubes is
Mm-hmm.
official. Okay, she's done her schooling, she's done her hours, and Mama Rubes is officially a registered psychotherapist. So she actually she ready. She's ready. She can fix people now, y'all. She will sit down on it. She's that type of psychologist. Okay, she'll sit down on the couch to help you solve your problems. Registered. Okay, she got that this week. So I'm very proud of her. That means, she is now officially ready to practice and get paid for it and everything. So yeah, some good news in the Rubes family line, So I'm very proud of
Oh,
her.
that is wonderful. Congratulations, Mama Rubes. I'm so happy for you. So
Right.
happy for you.
Right. I was so happy we were sitting there, doing some planning about, what her going out on her own maybe, or, and getting business cards and naming her business. Mama Rubes is the
Oh.
worst at naming anything. Okay. That woman does not understand the concept of naming things. So you know what to name it. Like you gotta, maybe be a little bit snappy to the point. Not this woman. She will come up with like 17 long words, string them all together, and go, I think that's a great title. For what? You gonna put that all on the sign? Right? That's a lot of words, mom. So I'm trying to help her out with that, but at one step at a time. She didn't go to school to, be great at marketing. She went to school to be great at psychologizing. And so, she got it. So I'm very proud of her. Very, very proud. Um, I think
Yeah.
I did tell y'all, a few months ago or whatever, maybe it was like a year ago, it's been a while, that, she was working at a center that basically is giving help for free to Black folk, in essence. And that's what the center does. It gives you 10 free sessions when you sign up. So whether you're individual, family, whatever it is, and they made this literally to help the Black community because as we've said a lot when we're talking about solutions, instead of sitting around and whining and crying about stuff, you could
Hmm.
just get up and get it done, which is what they did. They didn't turn around and wait for you know government massa to start sending them a paycheck and sign it up. No, they said, listen, our community needs the help, so we are going to encourage more Black folk to sign up to be able to help, and then we're gonna you know get the Black folk in here to help them, right? And
Hmm.
so I was really proud that to even know that we had that set up here, because that's a dream I've always had. And that's where she did her volunteer hours. You have to do a certain amount of volunteer hours in order for you to get on the registry and be registered. uh,
Right.
right? And so she's done her hours now, and now she can officially get paid. So I'm like, all right, mama, all right. I like it. I like it. Setting good foundations for the future generations. So it's very proud.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy for Mama Rubes myself. But
Mm-hmm.
I will take up for, you can't be good in everything.
Mm-mm.
I got some problem solving skills, some good listening skills. Reading out loud, I can do a little better, pronunciation, yeah, I can work on it, but we all have our place. So I'm going
Mhm.
to do, what I don't do as well first. So this article is pretty long. I'm going to do a little skipping, just get to the meats and the potatoes of it, because I did want to mention real quickly about the New York City, because I put in the title, so I do want to mention it with the New York City subway situation. I will say that the gentleman was captured, at least the one that represents what the whole plot was about.
Mm.
And what ended up happening, they looked at his social media, which his social media just kind of pointed at the Black manosphere. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are no longer associated with the Black manosphere anymore. That's my guess. I'm just saying. All right, let me get on with this story. All right, so with this story, um, shout out to Mike V. He forwarded this story to me. This is nice. I love this story. After meeting 17 years ago, sisters now helm the country's largest Black owned wine brand. Thanks to one icebreaker question, Robin and Andrea McBride are now closer than ever and running a multi-million-dollar company together. All right, beautiful sisters. Let me see if I scrolled up enough for you guys to see the lovely ladies. There you go. That's what I'm gonna have a little bit after when I have my dinner. Hmm. All right. So on the right is Robin, and then on the right is Andrea. Andrea McBride was a 16-year-old living in foster care in New Zealand when she got a phone call from her biological dad in Alabama. He told her he was dying of cancer and wanted to do one last thing before passing: connect her to another daughter he had, her sister Robin. In the 17 years since the fateful call, Andrea and Robin have not only met, but in 2005 they founded the McBride Sisters Wine Company, the largest black owned wine company in the United States. And they did it without any seed money from investors. Okay, let me scroll down, show you the lovely ladies toasting. Uh oh, do a little bit too much scrolling. There you go. All right, now let me find my place. Okay, sisters, it said. Andrea said that a aforementioned phone call was the first time she'd spoken to her dad in 6 years. The phone rang and I picked it up, and the person on the other end of the phone said, "Hey, Andrea, it's your dad." And I definitely lost my breath, Andrea recalled. Her estranged dad shared his terminal diagnosis of stomach cancer and said he wanted to use his remaining energy to help her find Robin. He died 7 months later before he was able to find Robin. He lost touch with her after divorcing her mother, but he did connect with Andrea to his family beforehand, and she traveled to his home state in Alabama to attend the funeral, during which family members vowed to fulfilling his dying wish. It was crazy and awful and amazing, sort of, all at the same time. It was all that feels, she said, losing our father. He was one of 12, meeting family and a lot of other people that I never met before, but looked a lot like me. It was amazing. They were all just really focused on helping us try to find Robin. Okay, and let me find where they met up. All right, so do 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 do. Okay, Andrea gets the phone call, and they were both pretty stunned and shocked, and nobody thought that this was going to happen at this moment because, according to the letter, she is in New Zealand and not in Alabama, said Robin. So I didn't know I was going to be talking to my sister so soon as I made the initial phone call. All right. And let me scroll down with the icebreaker, blah, blah, blah. One of their icebreaker questions was, what was it like where you grew up? And it turned out that they both grew up in small agriculture towns known for winemaking. And they both were passionate about wine. So, in an effort to bond, they went to wine tastings and vineyard tours. And eventually, they decided to start their own wine company together. A lot of our experiences of us being curious about wine and how we were treated when we were in those tasting room and stuff is really a lot of our foundation of what our company is built on today, which is making wine accessible for everybody and helping people on their journey and making it fun, says Andrea. All right. So they started in, let's see, the initial seed money was $1,800 that they had. They got and that helped cover the licensing paperwork. And the next thing you know, they were ranked in over $5.5 million in sale in a physical year of 2020. And they were also cited in the Wine Spectator magazine. And that just happened to be a magazine that I get now and again. I get a subscription. Sometimes I don't get it because our mail is just sucking, but um, that is pretty much what I want to share because it's like I said, it's a long story, and I just wanted to feature these beautiful women. So thank you so much for your patience.
Aw. Well,
Is it,
hey,
yeah,
I
isn't
think
it
we need
something?
that. Hmm.
Just meeting, and then they had something in common, and now they're in business.
That's beautiful. I'm glad to hear a good story now and again. I needed that because I know the story that I'm gonna do first. I don't know, and so I'm glad we got a little touch of something good. I got another police story for y'all that, of course, ended tragically because that's the majority of them. Um,
Yeah, you're right.
I hate to say it that way, but it's true. Um, so the
Yeah.
first thing what I'll do, I'm going to show you two different videos, and the reason why is because the first video is going to show us kind of like the setup to the end, and then the second video really shows the issue with this particular encounter. And then I'll tell you what's happening kind of around it. The family is calling for accountability. Okay. The family is calling for basically like, hey, he should be at the very least fired, not prosecuted. And we need some accountability here, and we need some change. And at this point, right? Because apparently it's not the policy, right? None of these policies seem to say, hey, yeah, cops should just kill people they're pursuing indiscriminately. Um, and apparently it's not the training, because apparently they're not trained to do that either, not trained to, lean on people's necks until they die, and yet they do it multiple times. It's not just George Floyd, he's just the one that, is the poster face for it, but multiple times. So what's the solution then? I don't know, because even though we haven't been focusing on these stories on our show, doesn't mean they're not happening still. Um,
Hmm.
so let's take a look. Now this is a encounter with Patrick Loyo. I don't know how to say this properly. I'm pulling a char here, but Patrick Layoya. I tried. Okay, Patrick L. Okay.
1915.
Hey, stay in the car! Stay in the car!
Nelson and Griggs.
Stay in the car! Get in the car! Dude, I'm stopping you. Do you have a license? Do you have a license?
For what?
I'm stopping you. Do you have a license?
What done?
Do you have a driver's license? Do you speak English?
Yes.
Can I see your license?
What done you want?
The plate doesn't belong on this car. Do you have a license or no? No. Stop. Put your hands right. Stop. 1915. Got one running. Northbound.
One running northbound.
And so there they are right here in the tussle.
Okay. Damn.
Stop!
Okay.
Get your hands behind your back!
Okay. What do you do? Please.
So you see, he's grabbing the taser, but he's not trying to grab it out of his hand or point it at him. It's more so trying to just keep it away from himself, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Kind of seems like self-preservation's real. He speaks enough English clearly to very vaguely communicate. Obviously, he's done some things wrong, right? I mean, he's using a license plate that's not attached to his car, which means he probably doesn't have a valid one. Maybe the car's stolen. I don't know. Does he have a valid license? Probably not. Why do I say probably not? Because of the way the whole thing's going down. And
Hmm.
when you don't have a valid plate on your car, and you don't want to answer questions, when it looks like you got to answer questions, you take off running. It normally means that you don't have the proper identification, right? Then when you give us that he's a Congolese refugee, I say, okay, fine. Maybe he didn't have the license or anything, right? And he clearly doesn't fully understand the rules here because when he got pulled over, he got out of the car because he thought that's what you're supposed to do. He wasn't quite understanding that no, in this country, you sit behind the wheel, you put your hands on the wheel so everyone can see your hands, and you sit there because you don't get out of the car, right? Like he wasn't understanding that. So you can already see, though, that from him doing all of that and misunderstanding the situation, the cop already has it in his mind that this is going to be a terrible situation for him. And he's reacting very aggressively instead of taking the time to maybe, I don't know, clarify. Because obviously this guy's reacting, Patrick is reacting in fear. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of fear and confusion. You know, he knows he did some stuff wrong. He's scared of what's happening. And there's a barrier in language. That's clearly what's happening. Okay, let's keep watching.
Okay.
Do you hear that taser going off?
Let go of the taser.
Why would he let go of it? You're trying to hit him with it. Now, that video is where we see what happens.
Drop taser.
See? And now they black that out. But I'm going to show you that video because I have.
You don't have to show it because they're gonna make me black it out as soon as it's over.
It's not actually gory or anything.
Okay.
It's not gory at all. So that's why, because I just want you to see why it's like it's improper. What is happening is improper, and the thing is, because they can get away with blanking it out and saying, well, it's trying to keep it PG and whatever. That's why oftentimes we don't really get the full picture of, well, what's the problem here. And so let's take a look here. Watch. So there they are. They're struggling. Okay, there's a cop. He's taking the gun out. Do you see what he did?
Get back.
That's what he did. So you see what I say? It's not that it's gory. It's that he's yelling about the guy to drop the taser. What taser? He was on the guy's back. He was behind him on his back. Even if Buddy grabbed the taser would have done no harm. He's already deployed the taser twice, so there's no way that Buddy could have done anything to him with the taser, even if he had the taser. He's already on his back. And yet, despite he pulls out the gun first, then starts yelling, drop the taser, puts the gun up against the back of his skull, and then deploys it, like literally contact wound. Really? And he was trying to say that he followed proper police procedure and followed proper protocol.
Yeah, and we know how this is going to end. So,
well, the family, having heard about the contact, it being a contact wound, and being shot in the back base of his skull that way, they were fighting for the details and the video to be released. It got picked up. There were lots of protests and whatever, so they've released the video, which we've just seen there, which they know and they've acknowledged has some critical and damning information, of which they don't want us to see some of it still, because if you notice, we're missing a bunch of stuff in between. We actually are missing a bunch of stuff. That's what I've shown you is exactly what they've released to us. And so it comes down to, well, how do we resolve this, guys? Because at the end of the day, I don't see anything changing unless we can address what the real problem is. Because this is crazy. It is crazy that a cop can think he's already on top of this guy, behind him, but he doesn't have a weapon, but he's reaching for an empty, useless taser. And that gives you credence to pull out a gun and shoot him in the back of his head. That there's no way that should be okay. There's no way at all that should come into the mind of a cop. So how do we solve this problem? I don't know. I'm fresh out of when I saw that, I was just like, wow, he it was like he was like on the island or something trying to slaughter a pig. Like he just didn't care. Oh, look, I'm behind him. It's a good vantage point. I got a good vantage point to get this one. Like they had nothing to do with, you know, I'm in danger. I'm fearing for my life. How? You were behind him. You were behind an unarmed man, and you were on top of him, and you had full control. So, did you fear for your life, sir? Really? Hmm.
Of course, that's how it's going to play out. And I just remembered I had a video. Um, darn, I just remembered. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Um, it was from Dr. Ritchie, Indisputable with Dr. Ritchie.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I bookmarked it. I must have been on my other device, and that's what happened. Oh my goodness. I may have to wait for that because I don't want to hold up. So I'll look for that after I do this story then.
Okay.
All right, so I'll just quickly go through this story, which is, I just find this extremely terrible. I think life in prison is death, so I don't get why they're still doing this. I just don't understand it, not at all. South Carolina inmate picks firing squad over electric chair. He had a choice of his poison, and that's what he chose. A South Carolina prisoner scheduled to be the first man executed in the state in more than a decade after decided he this decade has decided to die by a firing squad rather than an electric chair later this month, according to the court documents filed Friday. Richard Bernard Moore, 57, is also the first state prisoner to face the choice of execution methods after a law went into effect last year, making electrocutions the default and giving inmates the option to face three prison workers with rifles instead. Moore has spent more than 2 decades on death row after being convicted of a 1999 killing of a convenience store clerk, James Mahoney, in Spartanburg. If executed as scheduled on April 29th, he will be the first person put to death in the state since 2011 and the fourth in the country to die by firing squad in nearly half a century. Wow. Incredible. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, in my opinion, life in prison is a death penalty. Why can't we leave it that way? Because if now you're saying that you can be the R word and can't end the pregnancy, then because you so much in life, then this person
Mm-hmm.
has been walking the earth. Why end theirs?
Right. Exactly. The hypocrisy is real and deep, and that's the sad part about it. At least if at least if they were consistent, then you'd be like, okay, well, that's how things are, right? It's just like that. We value life above all else, but no, that's not true.
Not at all.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, come on. Look what we just had a conversation about. It's okay for a cop to jump on a dude's back, right? I mean, there's so many. It's like pick and choose, right? Whatever makes them happiest. And, mm.
Mm-mm-mm.
Mm.
Whatever makes them money, you ask me.
Hold that too, you know. And what I think is crazy, right? I mean, at the very least, now obviously Western world's got some problems, right? But we do have to sometimes be appreciative of where we live. Why? Because yeah, we do actually have the right to complain, to protest, or even peacefully. I mean, sure, for some of us it turns out worse than for others, but like we can protest. And in going back to a story brought up, I think it was last week, where it was saying, hey guys, we should recognize the places that we do have it better than the rest of the world, even while we have it just as bad or worse in some other places. And so I want y'all to hear how Russia has been dealing with vague, very calm anti-war protesting. Just people who just are generally saying, I'm not really down for the war. I don't really support it.
Okay.
Let's just see.
Inside this computer repair shop, the screen reads that a poster had to be taken down because of a fine of 100,000 rubles. That sign read, "No war." Murat Grachev and his staff put it up at the end of February. We've not heard any negative words from our customers and visitors, he said, but at least once a day we heard words of gratitude or support. That changed at the end of March when a passerby reported the business to police, who questioned Grachev and demanded he come down to the station.
Если вы отказываетесь, я еще раз повторюсь, к вам будет применена физическая сила и спецсредства.
Grachev is one of more than 400 people who have been detained for what Russia calls discrediting the military or publishing fake news. This woman was jailed for replacing price tags with stickers detailing facts about the war. On Wednesday, police crashed a concert that featured some compositions by a Ukrainian composer, but this pianist defiantly played on.
Dang.
He played music by a Ukrainian composer. That was his form of protest. Like, no, I still think people from Ukraine are cool. They're still people, and talent is talent. So I'm still gonna play this music. That is protest, and they're cracking down on it. Okay, let's see what I want you to process what they're saying here. Okay.
PD Info is a human rights group that has been providing legal support in many of the recent cases.
That the rhetoric is changing. For example, you can hear Putin's speech about national traitors and foreign agents, and that we need to find these people.
Then there are those who were already very much on the Kremlin's radar.
It is a regime of murderers.
Vladimir Kara-Murza was arrested just hours after giving this interview to CNN. He's a vocal critic of Putin's government and has ended up in the hospital twice after suspected poisoning. His wife says he's officially charged with trying to evade police, an accusation she calls ridiculous. Her husband has been sentenced to 15 days in custody for now.
We're not yet sure if this will be the end of it, because we fear that during these 15 days, they might come up with something else to charge him with.
Yep.
Because Russia is trying to crush all opposition in a country where even benign protests are met with severe response, the loudest voices can become the biggest targets. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Riga.
Oh, yeah. So, also included as a benign protest, a woman had her nails done. Blue and yellow nail polish. And because those are the colors of the Ukrainian flag. Yep. And because she didn't have nail polish remover on her to immediately remove it off her nails, boom, arrested, sanctioned. Like, they're not playing. So, on one side, we're all frustrated because we're like in a false democracy where we're allowed to speak and we're allowed to protest, we're allowed to do stuff like that, and yet it seems like no matter what we say and do, nothing really changes. But at least we're allowed, right?
Right.
It could be worse. Karen, who needs to wear a mask on occasion, lady over there, it could be worse, right? They literally could just be sanctioning you with $150,000 because you have a sign that just says "No war." That's it. Like, think about that. It's just a sign in a store that just said "No war."
An innocent poster.
Yeah, it's basically treason. That is you basically going against the troops and disrespecting the country. It's basically treason for you to just play some Ukrainian composer music. That's it. That's what they're up against, right? So, we gotta recognize we do have it kind of good over here.
Yeah.
At least with our pseudo democracy. So
Right. Well, if you've been watching me at any time, you know my personality. I haven't, this thing about pensions. I don't know. When I turned 40 years old, I understood how pensions work, and I was looking forward to having one. And then was the housing crash and all of that. And then the state just started just saying, yeah, we got a problem. And then the companies say, hey, we got a problem. We're going to stop this. So I want a pension. That's not much to ask for. So this story is very near and dear to me. So I'm going to read it with pride. And if you hear any, groveling, that's just the inside of me understanding how important this subject is. So I must warn you. Okay? All right. Pastors sue AME Church over missing retirement funds, aka pensions. See that woman in the picture there? I'm sure she's in her, I don't know, late 50s, early 60s, and she's tired. She's tired of telling people to park in the right place. You got to do the announcement sometime because folks be late, they don't show up. And she's tired of all that. And she just can't wait to just, go sit down somewhere. But this is what she's going to have to deal with. This is in Orlando, Florida. Pastors have filed at least 3 federal lawsuits in recent weeks against the African Methodist Episcopal Church, along with several subsidiaries and financial firms the church used, alleging tens of millions of dollars from a pension fund were mismanaged and missing. The retirement and current pastors in Florida, Maryland, and Virginia filed the lawsuits against the oldest historically black denomination in the U.S. late last month. They were seeking class action status on behalf of thousands of other AME pastors and church officials throughout the country who lost money through the pension fund. The pastors who were required to participate, keyword required, took money out my check. Oh, I'm sorry. The pastors who were required to participate in the retirement plan said they have been unable to get access to their money. I repeat, they've been unable to get access to their money. The lawsuit filed by the Florida pastor, the Reverend Charles Jackson in Orlando, alleges the church and its related financial institutions were negligent and breached their fiduciary responsibilities. Jackson is seeking a jury trial and punitive damages in the complaint filed in federal court in Tennessee. All right, let me read some more. Oops, went down too far. The church retirement fund chair invested planned assets in prudent, extraordinary, risky investments and ultimately lost nearly $100 million of planned participant retirement savings, the Maryland lawsuit says. In a statement Tuesday, the church said it was limited in what it could say because of the litigation, but noted that it had resumed some distributions to fund participant starting last month. Now, what does that tell you? I'm almost at the end, but I just gotta put some commentary right here. I'm supposed to be getting my money every month. You know, every month I put in where my money. I can't get no money. Why? Because the fund is, that particular fund is at a zero balance. So I'm starting to call around, look around. Hey, church better have my money. They ain't got it. And then they do some investigation, find out all this has been happening, been taking the money from the funds. But it gets better because we know when this happened. Let me see. See if I want to read this part. Give me 1 second. Okay. We appreciate, oh, this was a statement Tuesday. The church said it has limited, oh, I did that. We appreciate our community concern and remain grateful for the patience of our clergy, staff, and members as we continue to investigate this matter, the statement said. In a message posted to the website last month, the church acknowledged that the retirement fund participant may have been a victim of financial crime. You don't say. May have. Oh, wow. Maybe. Okay. After the new administrator of the Church Department of Retirement Services took over last year, financial irregularities were uncovered in some retirement fund investments. The church has hired an outside legal firm and forensic expert to conduct an investigation, the statement said. The AME Church takes financial irregularities and disclosures seriously, and we have committed to restoration of any impact retirement funds, the statement said. We are also committed to making every fund participant whole by restoring their full investment plus interest. You know what that means? That means Social Security system. You know how the Social Security system is that the people that are like 20 years old is paying everybody funds now that's 60 and 70 years old? Well, yeah, that's what they're going to do. Because how are you going to find $100 million? You sure can't ask for nobody to hit the link that many times because it ain't going to happen. Attorney Greg Francis, who is representing Jackson, the Florida pastor, said he hoped the lawsuit would eventually be consolidated. Jackson is 72 years old. He told the Associated Press in a phone interview that he feels betrayed. When you take advantage of my money, you lose my trust, Jackson said, and you lose the trust of your employees. Tell me, what am I supposed to do? I give my money, I do what I'm supposed to do. When it's time for me to collect my money, it isn't there. And then you got to investigate. And then you got to hire somebody on the outside to look into it. This happened between what year? 2020 and 2021. That's when this money started growing legs and just disappearing. It's like poof in midair. Because why? You don't have anybody to watch anybody. See, I always said to myself, when I've been, because I like stories that have fraud and stuff in there, who done it. I've always been curious. But normally it's two layers of security, and those always are compromised. So I figured when I get some money, when Shar has her company, she's going to have 5 layers of security because it's kind of hard to split the pot with 5 people because somebody going to open their mouth. It's not going to be enough for them to get. So that 5th person gonna like, oh no, I'm gonna share Shar. No, we ain't gonna all this for $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I look at it. So you need 5 layer security. You need somebody to watch the person that's watching the person, that's watching the person, that's watching the person, that's watching the person. That is all.
True. It's very true. It's watching persons, watching the persons, watching the person, and so on. Yeah. It's true though. It's very true. Sorry, it's caught me there. But yeah, no. And I think the thing is we have to realize is that the more desperate that the world is or situation is, the more that your company's at risk for things like this. And so I think that, when all is well, when, it's almost like you couldn't lose your job if you tried to. Sometimes the economy's in a really good place, the world's in a really good place. Maybe you can loosen the reins a little bit. But when you know that the economy and your country is under pressure and times are hard, money's hard, whatever, I think that's when it pays. As much as it would be difficult, company wise, it pays to invest more in this type of security. And it's like, these companies are trying to save themselves money because they send more and more employees home, lay them off, so on and so forth. They can afford extra security, but it's like, can you afford not to have the extra security? Can you?
Man, church or no, I'm gonna
Right?
have to have somebody to hold me back because I ain't playing.
Mm. We all know Shar don't play about no pension, y'all. We all know. Don't you play with Shar and the pension. Okay.
That's right.
Well, y'all, I have another risk of what's happening during these hard Rona times. Um, we talked about, various aspects of this over the last couple of years. I just want you all to know, listen, there are some very real risks to allowing yourself to be really, really lonely and waiting for winter to come so the women come flooding back in droves begging for your attention is not working out so well. And so some men are taking it into their own hands, literally, to try to fill that gap. And it can be dangerous. I bet you didn't know that, but I'm going to tell you how. Let you just see that right there. Okay. And so this man was rushed to the ICU after crunching lung while masturbating too hard. Yep, I read that right. I'm going to tell you what the the caption says. A Swiss man, 20 years old, has been hospitalized after suffering spontaneous pneumomediastinum during a vigorous masturbation session. His face was swollen and crunching noises could be heard from his neck to his elbows. Docs discovered air was even trapped at the base of his skull. Yeah. So, look, I swear to God, yo, I'm not making it up. It's in the New York Post. It's actually in basically every newspaper you can think of covered this story. So
Use the use the word M after that. I want to see what
M.
happens because they had me to.
Oh,
Yeah, let's just see what happens. It's okay. You all
um,
right? Just go ahead.
so you got M. So this is not the happy ending for which he was groping. I swear that's how this starts. I didn't say it. It's the start of the article. Okay. A 20-year-old man survived after being admitted to an intensive care unit with an excruciating lung injury brought on by overly aggressive M, according to a new study in the May issue of the journal Radiology Case Reports. The self-loving Swiss citizen recently rushed himself to Cantonais Hospital in the city of Winterthur after experiencing crunching pain and a shortness of breath amid his solo stroking session. Yo, these people are so facey. Subsequent x-rays revealed the man was suffering from spontaneous pneumomediastinum, a painful but typically benign disease whereby air leaks from the lung and becomes lodged in the rib cage, the Journal of Thoracic Disease reported. Science Direct described the autoerotic emergency as a rare condition that usually affects young men in their 20s. So it's rare, but also usually affects young men in their 20s, which means it's not like a 1 in a million case. Okay? I'm going to show you this x-ray up closer. Okay, this is the x-ray of the young man in his 20s, which again, rare, but not unheard of. They know where it came from. Researchers added that smokers are at an increased risk of SPM, which can be brought on by violent coughing, excessive vomiting, or strenuous physical exercise, including M. The handsy Swiss man, these people are so feisty. They're gonna put it in like every sentence. The handsy Swiss man denied doing intense exercise, but did admit to doing some rough solo M. Leading study authors Dr. Nicola Rajic and Dr. Christian Shandy reported.
Chicka chicka wow wow.
Right? The
Chicka
man's
chicka wow.
SPM was diagnosed as severe,
Chicka chicka
with
wow
the
wow.
x-rays showing a large amount of
Chicka
air
wow
trapped
wow.
above his lung.
Chicka
So
chicka wow wow.
I guess then all of these little bubbles that we see everywhere here, these white bubbles, those are all air uh, trapped, which is crazy. That, I mean, normally you hear air, you think the lungs, maybe, the bowels. Not really thinking above all that, but okay.
Mm.
What's crazy is his face was swollen. I think that was a part that really got my attention. His face was swollen. Like, wow. And crunching noises could be heard from his neck down to his elbows. Doctors subsequently discovered that air was trapped all the way up to the base of his skull. So that means it was air all the way, like, wow. And that's what's causing the crunching. You, wow, I can imagine. Yeah, that must be
Mm.
super painful. Um, so the man was rushed to the ICU where he was administered oxygen to help with his breathing, and he was also given the analgesic paracetamol to deal with his chest pain and antibiotics to fend off a possible infection. After a day in the ICU, intensive care, can you imagine, Shar, because of an M session, you in the ICU?
Yeah, and unfortunately, I have questions. I want to know if he finished or not. Does
Right?
it say? Does it say or no?
You know what? I'm not seeing. Let's see. We got a couple paragraphs left. Let's see.
Okay.
Um so after the ICU, he was transferred to a regular ward where he stayed for 3 days before being discharged in good health. SPM often resolves without any surgical intervention, which was the case for the lucky Swiss man. Not, well, they called him lucky. I don't know.
Hmm.
According to Science Direct, the pleasure seeking patient is the first to suffer an SPM after after M too hard. However, medical mishaps caused by the autoerotic activities are not all that common as of late. So far in 2022, a 54-year-old Brazilian man was admitted to the hospital after shoving a 4.4 metal dumbbell up his rear end in the pursuit of pleasure. And a 37-year-old self proclaimed virgin from Indonesia got a 6-foot long string stuck in his private part during a botched sex game. So,
Hmm.
I mean, they called him lucky. I kind of feel like if you went through all of that pain, ICU and whatever, and you didn't even, reach the promised land before all of that, I feel like they wouldn't be able to call him lucky. So let's say that, yeah, it must have paid off, right?
Hmm.
Hopefully, for his sake. Hopefully.
Wow. Oh, wait a minute. I got somebody here in chat room, and I got that famous question that I always ask, and I never get an answer. But we're gonna see. We might get an answer tonight. Okay, it's been how what 6 years? I still haven't got answers. Tonight might be the night, everyone. So let's see.
Okay.
Greetings, Tyrone Jackson. I have a question for you. How many of those children are yours? Thank you.
Maybe I think that's a good question.
Yeah. So we're gonna see if I get an answer. All right. And my last story, so you can get them Kens and Karens on, because that's what the folks are being here for. I
Mm-hmm.
know what's up. I know what's up.
Right?
Y'all be wanting to know.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all be wanting to know. I got it. I got it. All right. So let me line that up. Okay, it's all lined up for you. Okay. Make sure you can see it. Yep. All right. Make sure I'm on the right tab. Okay. Man arrested in Pennsylvania after placing Biden, I did that stickers at the gas pumps. Now you see that on the right? There it is. So man, he was arrested for doing this. Let's see. He was blaming Joe Biden for skyrocketing gas prices across the nation. Thomas Gleweski, 53 years old, of Lancaster, was confronted by police following a disturbance in progress call on March 31st involving an irate male at a gas pump in Turkey Hill, the East Hempfield Township Police Department said in charging documents. Gillespie Glaleski was charged filed against had charges filed against him that include resisting arrest, the police said. He was also charged with a summary of offenses of disorderly conduct, harassment, and criminal mischief. According to the witness, Glowesky had placed stickers with the word, I did that, along with a picture of the president pointing at the prices of the gas pumps. He made reference to the high price of gasoline in the United States and increase many Americans had blamed on Biden. Police said the employee at the Turkey Hill gas station approached the man to inform him that placing such stickers on pumps is illegal. The confrontation led to Gillespie allegedly, he did it, starting to scream in the employee's face. Bet you he didn't have no mask on. As police arrived on the scene and encountered the man, he also was yelling to authorities. Huh, I believe that. I believe that one. The officer attempted to verbally de escalate the situation with no avail. According to the charging documents, the irate male then ran toward the store employee in an aggressive manner. The officer was able to intervene and subdue the male. There's a male Karen here. A Ken, okay. While Gillespie was being forced into the back of police vehicle, he also suffered self-inflicted injuries. I know the police kind of banged him up a little bit. I know y'all got tired of him, but I ain't gonna say nothing. And then they end up requiring to get the EMS to transport him to the local hospital for treatment. Oh yeah, they jacked him up. He ain't do that to himself. Glazewski confrontation with police was captured in video footage showing an officer tackling and later pending him as he's yelling repeatedly, I did that! I did that! That's what I did! Likely referencing stickers of the finger pointing Biden affixed on the gas pump. Identically, I did that stickers featured Biden next to the skyrocketing fuel prices at gas pumps have cropped up in many places nationwide. The stickers have become a popular protest against the rising gas prices. I take off 5 to 6 days a week from different pumps. Perry Cagle, assistant manager at the Exxon station in Alabama, in March said, oh, I'm not even going to try his name. Hurricane, a cashier at the Stockman truck stop in South St. Paul, Minnesota, told KSTP in mid March that removing I did that stickers have become almost an everyday thing. I want to see if I can get some footage because I would like to see the guy wrestled to the ground. So let me stop sharing this and let me see if I can get some beautiful bean footage for you.
Well, I think that's interesting because, well, first of all, it's because if I were to think of who did it, because I've already told y'all all of my gas woes, I firmly blame Bush Jr. Firmly, right? Because
right before him,
right, gas was fine before him, okay, and then it skyrocketed right after his scene with the upside down book reading to the children. Right, and it's like literally within 24 hours my gas was going up. So I'm just saying, if I were gonna blame somebody, I blame Bush Jr. The fact that y'all are only feeling the deficits now is just because like you can only hold off karma for so long, right? Like it's not like oh my god, this is a travesty. Like no, you just get to suffer like the rest of us now. Y'all know how bitter I am about this, so I mean, come on.
Okay, let's see what we got here. You don't want no camera? Okay. Okay. Let's take a look at this one because this one I'm sure is where he accidentally, hit his head.
That's my head. Just land me in here. Let's see some blood, man. Let's see some fucking blood. Keep my fucking teeth out of the car. Wow. Oh. Why don't you bash my head in the fucking door? Be on video. Try and bash my head.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess they didn't capture, them other injuries, but that's okay.
Right? Unfortunate.
Wow. Let me see. Let me take a look at the chat first, see if I got an answer.
Come on, Shar. You know you didn't get no answer from nobody. Come on.
Wow. I was just thinking, this is 2022. I thought maybe I get an answer to see how many of those aborted, the 8, them word, was his children.
Right.
Because they always have the stats, but they never say how many of those are theirs. Darn. Okay. Well, maybe next year. Well, we still got some months left of this year, so it's still early. You never know.
Good luck. Good luck. I would not hold my breath because I like living, and you need air to live. So, yeah. Not gonna happen. We all know. Come on. We all know.
I tried. Well, one thing I can get excited about that I know that's going to happen is those Kens and Karens. So, I had my bird hands, together. Hey, I'm ready. So let's see. We had Ken last week. So let's hear what Karen got to say. She up all in people's face. Karen, what now?
Speed away coronavirus. You are a Karen.
She always up in somebody's face. What's wrong with the woman? She can't help herself.
No, she can't. Right? She just needs some love. That's her way of showing and expressing love. Okay, y'all are rejecting her love. That's her spirit animal. Okay, y'all are mean. Is rejecting poor Karen's spirit animal. What's wrong with you? Okay. So up first, okay, listen, y'all, I still haven't actually seen it. It's funny because I opened this one. This is from last week. I still had it there, and I'm like, you know what? Let's watch it. It's still there from last week. I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I'll tell you the title of it though. The title is Two Racists on a Bus. That's the title. So should be good. Let's see.
Why you say what you had to say to me before?
Oh, it's a video?
Yeah, come say what you.
Chingling down, chingling down.
Wow.
You can take your. Yeah, wow, it's so crazy.
Real racist, eh?
We're so racist.
So
you're the only one making it racist because you're sad about being Chinese. Like, literally, get the fuck out. No, you're literally making it racist by saying it's.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure that if you just volunteered to make the fake, Chinese language statements, that it's probably not just him being sad because he's Chinese. I mean, I don't know. Call me crazy, but I feel like they're missing something.
Yeah.
Right? But they're not like full grown Ken and Karen because they're still teenagers, so they're just idiots, right? Like they just like to make noise and feel like, you can't tell them nothing because now they're allowed to be on the bus by themselves on public transport because they're so cool. Right? Yeah, so sometimes you just gotta understand Ken and Karen are in training, and you just gotta understand that they're being cool. That's it.
Dang.
Okay, so now this situation is amazing. So guys, you go to the beach. Well, no, maybe you don't live near a beach. Maybe you don't live on a tropical island. Maybe you have to pay a lot of money to go on a vacation to a tropical island so you can go sit on a beach. But you do that. And it's beautiful and the sands are clear and the water's clear. You just want to lie down and relax and enjoy the peace and beauty of the beach. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But you don't pay for the adult beach. That's like just adults only. No, you just go to any beach. Well, that's what Karen did. She didn't pay for the adult only beach. She's on the any beach. And Karen is upset that there are children on the beach using the beach in one of the many ways you could use a beach. And Karen feels that they should stop training on the beach, these young Black children training on their beach, because Karen doesn't want them running around. So Karen is going to call the cops on the children for running on the beach. Okay, let's see how Karen deals with the situation by herself over here.
Okay.
You're trying to explain to her that she's an idiot. She's not hearing it. Look what she does. Look what she does, y'all.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
She tried to lie down. I don't know if she's trying to trick them or block them. It's like a Karen move, right? Throw herself onto the ground, right? And that's going to solve all her problems. The Karen thing, right?
Wow. That's the same move that the Victoria's
Secret Karen, right? Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I was so pleased that when she did that, I was like, because apparently she called the police, right? But they didn't show us that part. I don't know. This part though was precious. She saw the kids coming. I don't know if she thought like it was gonna trip them because she was just so fast with it, or like I don't know what she thought was gonna happen. But she really thought, I shall not be moved. And she will wait on the beach to block the children from running and training on the beach, right? Like the children from training on the beach. On their
Karen
beach.
strikes everywhere. Ooh.
Right? Girl, what? Okay. Karen, no one should have allowed you outside. Why do we keep letting Karen just go where she wants to go? We need to stop.
Right.
Right? Okay. So now this Karen, we've seen a few comedy club Karens. We have. This Karen was inspired by Will Smith. Now, I was particularly tickled by the title because it lets us know that. Because I know how much Char just loves how the Will Smith Chris Rock thing has gone on and on and on. But we have to understand that it's inspiring people like Karens to feel like they could or should be able to deal with situations just like Will Smith did. So here is a comedian. He's making jokes about lesbians, apparently, and here is a Karen. She is a lesbian. Let's see how this unfolds.
Oh.
That's not okay. You're gonna radically her. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm watching me, motherfucker. Get out of here. Watch you. Watch me, motherfucker. Get out of here.
Slap him. No, I'm playing. I should have said that. Get out of here. You afraid yet? Oh
Are you afraid yet?
That's not okay. You're not gonna ridicule somebody on their sexuality and fucking push talk candles.
Oh,
God. You heard it.
Everyone's a fucking Karen around here. God damn. We just talked about being
Yourself,
zebras.
shove it up your ass and fuck you. Not okay. Not okay. Not okay. Yes, you know what?
There you go.
Wow.
Are you scared yet? No, Karen, he was not scared of
No.
you. Why would you think he would be? That's the surprising part about it, I think, for me. Like, you thought you were just that menacing? Your unbridled fury was just going to be enough to just make him shake, absolutely shiver in his boots? Like, no, Karen, no one's scared of you, honey.
No.
Right? Now, in our regular series of Karens, we've now taken to showing when customer service gets tired of Karen. So here's another one. Listen, I feel bad for this brother. I can hear it in his voice. He is about done. Okay, and it's not her fault. She's just the last Karen in a long day of Karens. Okay, and he's just done with all of them. Okay, let's see what happens.
Get out. The police will make you get out. You got your food. Get out. Get out. Get out.
Uh-oh.
What car are you in?
Recording everything. You dumb fucking lady. You dumb bitch. I'm not doing this shit no more. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out, bruh. Where's your car? I'm calling the damn police. You dumb. I'm tired of y'all. Tired of y'all. You coming here acting like y'all rent. That got me. What car is yours, ma'am?
Oh, snap.
What car is yours, ma'am? Like, he lost it, man.
He had enough. That gentleman, he had enough. He said, I'm tired of y'all coming up in here. But she left out, though. Think about it. She left out because he's not in there. So she has no one to fight and argue with.
Right. But she came outside. So she wouldn't leave when he was in there, right? But when he left, she came outside. Like, no, so she could yell at him. She wasn't done, right? Like, she was
Y'all better take a tip. Take a tip from this one. You could leave a Karen outside. That's what you could do.
Right? Okay, now this one. See, y'all, Karen doesn't like to be told what to do. And so if roles were reversed, right, Karen would be furious that the customer wouldn't respect this really just kind of basic rule. I think we've all heard this rule before in a jewelry store. But you see, Karen is not everyone. Karen is special, and the rules don't apply to Karen. So you can't tell Karen nothing. What is the rule? Y'all are going to hear it, but as you can see, here's some glass. Okay, there's jewelry down here, and here's Karen leaning on the glass. If you've ever been to a jewelry store in your life, it says, please don't lean on the glass. It literally tells you.
Yes,
like,
that's correct.
Right? For 30 years, I've been seeing those signs. You don't lean on the glass. And when you're a kid, you can't help yourself. You keep touching it. And you're like, I'm sorry. Right? And you get fingerprints everywhere. But for the most part, you do your best to just try not to lean on the glass. It's not a personal thing against you and your filthy hands, Karen. It's just, it's exhausting to have to clean the glass 1,000,000 times a day. So that customers like yourself, Karen, can see through the glass. You see. But Karen took it personally. Let's see how it goes.
What's your name?
You've already been asked to leave.
What's your name? When did
You've
you
already
ask
been
me
asked to
when
leave.
When did you ask?
When I said I was calling security.
You can't ask us to leave. And as a matter of fact, you want to record? I'm going to record you as well too.
Yeah, there's actually a code of conduct when you walk in. You guys agree to it.
You're not following your code of conduct, and I'm going to let the manager know 10 minutes early. As you had
We're not
customers that
closed.
were planning on coming and spending money with you, you actually, with your rudeness, you made it so that nobody wants to buy from you.
I didn't say we were closed, ma'am. I just
It
said
doesn't
you
matter.
can't shop
You don't
here.
need to tell me not to lean on here. You don't have a sign that
Yeah, I
says anything
can.
like that. Well,
I
guess
can.
what? What are you
Because
gonna
this
do
is
about it?
our business. It's
It
not
doesn't
your
matter.
business, ma'am.
It's not your business. You're just a little peon that works here. And as soon as your manager
Boy,
finds
you're
out what a
gonna.
dickhead you are, I don't know if you'll have a job anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure you think that.
Where's the security?
They're on their way.
Oh, really?
In the meantime, you
I'm
guys
sure
can.
you probably call them all the time, so they probably won't even come because you're just.
Oh no, it's the first time they've been over here since Christmas.
I was looking, and he goes, "Can you not lean on that? I just got through cleaning it." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, so she called me a peon.
Just right now, yeah.
Like, do you see where she's insulted? She's admitting it. He just literally said, "Do you mind not leaning on that? I just cleaned it." That's what she's taking issue with. Just asking her not to clean on the glass he just finished cleaning. Any grown adult person would say, "Sorry about that," and lean up, right? It's like when someone says, "Oh, can you please just walk around the big wet spot that I just finished mopping?" You don't just like intentionally walk through the wet spot and like, rub your dirty feet all over it so it's extra dirty. Like, why? You're a grown up, right? Just, "Oh, sorry about that." And you just keep it pushing, but not this, Karen. Nope. And then of course Karen has her Ken, right?
Right.
He whipped out the high heavens. So whatever she says is right. Like he's just like a wuss in the corner over there supporting his man. I mean, technically, right? Like that's how he's acting. He's not acting like the man in the situation. But she said, and what's your name? Huh? Sure. Oh God, Ken, you're embarrassing us all. Okay, let's keep watching.
Because you're being belligerent. You guys are violating the mall's code of conduct.
Because I'm actually standing up to you.
Yeah.
Because you have obviously have.
Yeah, I asked you not to dirty up something that I'm cleaning.
It doesn't matter. That's
It
your
does
job.
matter. It does matter.
Your
You
job.
see,
And guess
I
what?
actually have a right to say,
Guess what?
please
You're
don't
gonna
do
clean
that.
it again because I'm leaning all over again.
Okay.
Yeah, as a
Well,
matter of fact.
Yeah, she ain't done.
you guys.
Come over here and clean this one as well. Too,
Okay.
Along with this one.
Yeah, we'll post that up. You guys can be
Right?
famous. Go for it.
Okay. But you obviously have nothing better to do than to harass customers.
I'm actually just
To
standing
harass
here, man.
us.
You're the one
Wow.
dirtying up my store on
Okay, go
purpose.
ahead and give me your manager's information so I can call them first.
Oh, trust me, he'll be calling you for the cleaning bill after this because you guys were deliberately vandalizing our property at this point.
Vandalizing. What's wrong with you? Do you
Your
feel
behavior,
sorry?
it's
Do you-
upsetting.
Do you need to go to school? I'm sorry that you have a job that's so shitty that you have to take out your personal.
You're the one
problems
throwing a
and issues out
tantrum
on
in the
people.
mall, ma'am. I mean, it seems
No,
like
I'm not.
if
It's
anybody
just
needs to
because
learn
you're
etiquette,
one of
it's
the
you.
millennials
Yep.
who have this entitlement attitude. You act like people owe you something.
Wow.
These two.
This
This gentleman right here and this woman, they're vandalizing my store. I've got it all recorded.
That's a darn shame. I'm just think about it. She's just gonna sit there. I'm gonna wait for security.
Yeah.
I'm gonna insult you. I'm going to insult your job. I'm gonna insult everything. But that's all about her.
Mhm.
Because I'm pretty sure if you go, think about how the folks doing YouTube. Once they get tired of you and they start looking at your background and they show you're doing worse off than the person that they're talking about.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what it is, right? I mean, like for all of the things that she's saying, like this is a guy who has Parkinson's, who's just sitting there working hard, not complaining, not saying, "Well, I shouldn't have to do this because it's hard for me because I have Parkinson's," right? Like, no, he's just trying to do his job. I'm sure he very politely, because he's been very polite, even in, slapping down your tragic behavior, right? Just politely asked you not to lean on it, right? Like, and your response is not only to do what she all did, but then to walk around and lean on every single glass. Like, what are you, 5? That's something that like 14-year-old Ruby would have done, Like, you can't tell me nothing. And then she has the nerve to say, it's you millennials who are so entitled.
Wow. That's
Okay.
someone's mother.
Right? That's the unfortunate part, is someone's mother. I think honestly, I think the same thing about this woman.
Uh-oh.
It's a short clip, but here you go.
Get their head off!
Let's go.
Call the fucking police! I don't give a. I'm above the law, bitch. You better ask somebody.
You better ask somebody.
She's possessed.
Right?
Possessed Karen. Head turning around. What the world?
Oh my god. You better ask somebody. Like, oh my god.
Goodness.
Oh my god. It was good. It reminded me of the song Shawty Get Loose, just because, come on, girl, you better ask somebody. And it's just like, oh my god. But I keep telling y'all, listen, slowly but surely, Karens are getting their comeuppance. They are. Slowly but surely, people are getting tired of them. Okay. Let's see what happens. I can say more. It's only 30 seconds. It's easy to spoil.
What'd she say?
Hey, she said to send that bitch back to Mexico.
Back to Mexico. Fucking bitch. Get the fuck out of your car. She just threw something at me.
Oh, hell no. Hey, my nigga.
Bro, that's fucked up. You don't speak about my country like that. Look, I've been to your country. I love your country. That's cool, but I didn't know why you have to be here. So you nice things when you get off our property.
Wow, all that?
Yeah.
She was what? Was she in the drive-thru or just left the drive-thru? Because that lady had the mic on and everything.
Yeah, I think she just left the drive-thru, right? What I think is amazing about that, though, she had the nerve to say, "What? I like your country. I've been to your country. It's a beautiful country." Wait, what? So you're using it like as a derogatory thing, though. You're like, go back to Mexico. Well, I think Mexico is a beautiful country. Why? Because now you're surrounded by 5 Mexicans. Like that's what happened, right? She changed her attitude real fast. Like, wow, I was like, what blast changing your attitude? You knew something was coming, girl. You knew it was coming, and then she threw the thing, and you're like, oh no, they might actually kill me. I don't think the cops will get here in time. No, I was wrong, and you were right. See, Karen likes to cry when you call her out, and she has no one to save her. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. That's what it is. No. Speaking of Karen crying, this is Karen failing to take accountability. Yep.
My fucking marathon, you're really gonna pay. Really gonna fucking pay. My fucking side hurts.
She caused the accident, just so we're all clear. And by she, I mean Karen, the screaming crazy lady.
Okay. Her side hurts too. Okay.
Right.
But her mouth doesn't.
Like you're in my lane.
Excuse me, wait, but I'll fucking turn some while we return it! First, you fucking jackass! I was in that lane first and you fucking hit me! I was changing lanes. Fucking say it. Oh, I was in my lane. Fuck, you're gonna fucking turn to the line and proceed in this lane. You're gonna need to fucking hit him! You're complete 100% F-full! If you're fucking recording this, fuck you! You're gonna pay!
I asked
big
you
fucking dollars!
nicely to stop multiple
No! No, I don't have to fucking stop you fucking hit me!
She's been like this for 5 minutes.
I'm fucking hurt!
Are you hurt at all?
No, I'm not hurt.
Do me a favor. Yeah, no problem. Well, I also want a doctor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Your
right.
feelings hurt. That's about it.
Oh, deeply, right? I mean, like Karen, there are different lanes, right? Like different lanes for different purposes. And if you decide you want to cross into the other lane, that's fine, right? People do it all the time. They cross into lanes, right? But like, it's not like, well, I want to be in the left lane, so now everyone has to yield to me, right? You still have to pay attention to all the drivers around you, and then only merge when you have space to do so. It's not everyone else's responsibility to quickly get out of your way, Karen, lest everyone be injured, right? But I mean, again, this is trying to, it's like trying to tell the rain when to rain. Like you can. It's Karen. So, yeah, she tries.
And fails every
and
time.
fails so deeply and desperately. It's gonna be okay.
All right, so that's the last one for us.
Yeah, might as well.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to Article Reactions. Hope you had a great time. Tune in Friday. Next Friday, it will be the JustAskChar live stream at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we will be discussing men's health and mental health and well-being. So we have two guests come in for that particular stream, and I think you'll find it interesting. Our first one was interesting. We only had one participant, but the second one will is scheduled to come, so it should be a nice treat for you all. Um, Thank you so much for your likes and your shares, your contributions. I appreciate it. I hope that you guys enjoy. If you celebrate Easter, enjoy that. Stay safe. Hope to see you next week. And until then, peace.
Cheers, y'all.